So picture this, you're standing in front of your peers or even your team members, and every word coming out of your mouth is expected to inspire. It's expected to exude leadership. But inside, your heart is racing, your palms are sweating, and you know that you've always had reservations when it comes to giving presentations, when it comes to leading meetings or even networking events. And this is much as everybody who knows you knows that you're really, really good at what you do. And now your mind is on overdrive, running wild with, what if I mess up? Can these people sense that I'm nervous? Are they going to use it against me at some point? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. This kind of overwhelm is actually a challenge that cuts across the divide, irrespective of your role. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 10 practical ways to navigate social anxiety, especially if you are in a leadership role. Welcome back to my channel. And if we are meeting for the very first time, my name is Nancy. I'm an author and I'm a workplace leadership trainer. So you'll mostly find me here discussing topics on matters of leadership, professional growth, career advancement, all the while preserving your mental and emotional resources. So if you're already in leadership or you're up for a promotion, you are in the right place. Just kindly consider subscribing and pressing the notification bell if my kind of content resonates with you, and you'll be notified every single week when I release a new video. Social anxiety is more common than you think, especially among leaders, because it's your head that sticks out above your team members. And this can be tough because you have the pressure to communicate effectively with very little room for mistakes. You have to make decisions publicly, and this can also have its own consequences. And you have to connect with your teams regardless of your personality type, whether you're a people person or not, whether you like being around people or not, and this can be overwhelming. Just think of the moments where you found yourself foregoing opportunities that are going to require extensive social interactions, like those after work networking events, the large team meetings that go on for hours, or even public speaking. And you know deep inside that you're happier being camouflaged, but to your teams, you come across as disengaged, from all the realities of the workplace. Or maybe you're the type of person who overthinks interactions with colleagues and you excessively worry about what they think of you. Did I say something I was not supposed to? Did I come across as too harsh? Was I too hard on person A or person B? Was I too harsh in this meeting? What are they going to say when I step out of the room? Second guessing yourself can actually dilute your decision-making abilities and even your authority. Or maybe you're the type of person who struggles to delegate tasks. You struggle to deliver constructive criticism for fear of being unpopular with your workmates. And you find that you cannot set very clear boundaries because you like being liked, Only that this leads to reduced performance and a lack of accountability within the teams. Even in this, you are not alone. These are real issues stemming from our personality types, among other factors. And there are steps, tried and tested, that you can take to ease into social settings and have that natural feel through it all. So stick with me to the end of this video as I share these strategies that you can implement immediately to reduce anxiety and actually turn it into a strength. If you're ready, let's just dive in. I've divided it into a triad, which I call the ABCs, or the triple action formula for managing social anxiety. At A, we start with preparation strategies. My own career foundation is based on ensuring safety first, both for self and for others. And this comes in large part from preparation. So at number 1, manage your breathing. The first part of preparation strategy is managing your breathing. When anxiety hits, your breathing is going to change, and you may find yourself holding your breath or breathing really fast, or your breathing might actually become shallow, which means that your body's stress response, otherwise known as the fight or flight mechanism, has been triggered. And this actually makes things worse. You find yourself hyperventilating. You find that your body is trying to quickly take in more oxygen to fuel the muscles for what it perceives as imminent danger ahead. These are the moments where you start feeling dizzy. These are the moments where you start feeling like your chest is experiencing tightness because there's no actual need to fight or to flee. Alternatively, you may experience muscle tension, particularly in the chest or, in the diaphragm area, such that your lungs' natural expansion is restricted, and this reinforces those feelings of breathlessness and anxiety. And at this point, what you need is a simple exercise to calm your nervous system and help you regain focus. So just try this. Inhale for 5 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, then exhale for 5 seconds. There's an element of release and relax that actually comes with the last 5 seconds. And this is what is going to help rewire your mind to the agenda of the day. And the second preparation strategy is the need to plan ahead. There's so much power in preparation and planning, and anxiety mostly stems from fear of the unknown. Uncertainty is one of the primary triggers of anxiety. So you want to reduce uncertainty by creating a clear roadmap of what to expect, whether it's in a meeting or in a presentation. What are your talking points? And if it's a social event, try rehearsing scenarios so that you can have a sense of control and clarity when approaching situations. And also, when you plan ahead, you're going to minimize the last minute scramble, which actually heightens stress. The moment you have a plan in place, your mind is free to focus on adapting to changes rather than being consumed by worry. Just an example, when you know your agenda for an upcoming meeting, you're going to be able to stay present. You're going to engage effectively without the fear of being caught off guard by what might come next. And what you need is that safety net where you know that whatever happens, you'll be fine. You are safe. So prepare your notes, prepare your checklist, go through it thoroughly, and make it a habit to always prepare one before any meeting. The third preparation strategy is role play scenarios. And I mentioned this in passing at the beginning of this video. Some people say practice makes perfect, but from experience, practice makes progress, and progress builds muscle memory and actually reduces anxiety. Just consider the moments where you have to deliver very underwhelming feedback and you feel like your reputation is actually on the line, or you have this large unforgiving audience just waiting for you to make a mistake, however minor, and you know that your reputation is also on the line. Or maybe you have to sit in front of a disciplinary committee to defend a decision that you made, and the thought of it just keeps you up at night. You're going to need to build confidence through practice, and repetition is going to help reduce the fear because it's going to make the actual event feel less intimidating. Just try rehearsing giving a tough performance review with a friend or a colleague that you deeply trust, and then consider being on the receiving end also, taking the feedback. Consider the emotions that may be involved so that you can refine your approach both ways. Social anxiety stems from fear of judgment or failure. So the plan here is to desensitize any triggers, but in one safe environment. And role playing is going to help you to create safe, low stakes environments where you can simulate real life interactions, but without the pressure of the real life consequences. For example, if you are a manager, you can simulate networking conversations. Slowly and gradually build comfort by initiating conversations and sustaining discussions. Put a timer and see how you feel, after the first 10 minutes. Then move on to 20 minutes. Then progress from there. And when you get to real life networking, it's going to feel less overwhelming. What we need here is to practice in a controlled setting where you can develop the skills and the confidence necessary to manage anxiety in the day-to-day real-world scenarios. At number 4, leverage visual cues. Anxiety can cause the mind to go blank or even start racing in different directions with very overwhelming thoughts. But when you have structured cue cards, when you have the notepads, when you have bullet points or even slides, you're going to have a visual anchor that is going to help keep you on track during the speeches, during those meetings, presentations, instead of having to memorize everything. And that way you eliminate the fear of forgetting very critical information. An equally important aspect is consciously observing positive body language as your cue. Just imagine you're in a meeting where the tensions are high, everybody's up there. Then you notice one of your colleagues who looks poised, confident, relaxed. Subtly mirroring your colleague's posture and breathing can actually help you project confidence and ease your own anxiety in real time. This is just a subconscious reminder to regulate your own body language and emotions. You just want to be very strategic about it so that it doesn't feel awkward and look forced, And then once the preparation part is done, the second part of the triad is to engage your mental strength. Bring your mind to work. This brings us to point number 5, reframe your thinking. Social anxiety mostly comes from negative thoughts like, what if I mess up? What if they judge me harshly? How am I going to recover? Will I ever recover? This is self-doubt on the accelerator pedal. So try replacing it with constructive growth-minded perspective, like instead of what if I mess up, tell yourself, what if I connect with someone? Or instead of what if I'm really bad at public speaking, tell yourself, with preparation, I have yet another opportunity to improve. And then you're going to feel like the pressure is reducing and you'll focus on progress over perfection. You'll also notice that anxiety thrives when you focus on how you're going to be perceived over the value that you're bringing to the table. So instead of worrying about being liked in a meeting, put your focus on sharing your insights that are actually going to help the team move forward. Try redirecting your attention from what if I embarrass myself? What if I make a fool out of myself to how exactly can I help my audience? You want to completely lower self-consciousness, and this shift is going to enhance engagement and minimize any anxiety-driven overthinking. At number 6, you want to focus on contribution and not perfection. Leadership is not about being perfect. It's about bringing value to the table. And perfectionism or even an illusion of perfection can actually build a wall. It can create a distance, widen the gap between you and your teams because it makes you appear rigid and even unapproachable. So you want to have genuine conversations with your team members. You want to build deeper connections within the organization. And people may struggle if you're always striving for that flawless image of yourself. So instead, try embracing vulnerability. Openly acknowledge the challenges that you could be facing within the organization and the solutions that you're undertaking so that you can build trust and relatability. It's very easy to say just let go of self-doubt, but try focusing on your strengths and then think impact over perfection to free yourself from the pressure of flawless performance. You don't have to sound perfectly polished at all costs all the time when delivering a speech, for example. Your teams are more interested in the insights that you have to share. So consider shifting from how do I look to how can I help. At number 7, adopt a leadership persona. Have you ever noticed that you feel more confident when you're wearing certain outfits over others, or certain accessories just bring out your personality the way you like it? And sometimes it helps to step into a confident persona, almost like playing a role. A leadership persona is going to allow you to channel the qualities that you admire. Maybe it's assertiveness, maybe it's calmness, maybe it's charisma, and then make social interactions feel more manageable. Just imagine you get really, really nervous and anxious about public speaking, but a leader within your organization or just a public figure that you admire who speaks with so much authority and ease. Embodying this charismatic vibe is actually going to help you to project confidence. It's going to help you to feel more in control. And in social settings, you may actually find yourself over-personalizing leadership interactions that need to be liked, that need to not make mistakes. A leadership persona is going to act as a psychological buffer to help you step into your role with confidence rather than fear. Just an example, if you're naturally an introverted leader, you're all about quiet confidence, and you can create that confident communicator persona to help separate any emotions from your professional responsibilities when you're addressing a team. Just think of this as your leadership mode that you have to activate when you're in social settings. And the plan here is to detach yourself from self-doubt and minimize your expectations and any entitlement about being liked. And once your mindset is sorted, we can now step into more actionable techniques. And this brings us to tip number 8, set small social goals. Social anxiety thrives in avoidance. Instead of forcing yourself into large networking events, start by initiating the one-on-one conversations with your team members, or just saying hello to 3 people at an event, and then celebrate the small wins. And what you're doing here is you're gradually exposing yourself to social interactions, but in a more manageable way. And each small success reduces fear, and it actually builds your confidence for larger interactions. And anxiety can actually leave you focusing only on what could go wrong. But the plan here is to shift the focus from fear to progress. So if you can set small but very clear goals, you're going to find yourself being kinder with yourself. You're going to find yourself reducing the self-criticism, measuring and celebrating progress instead of going for perfection, as we've just discussed. A quick example, if you feel like public speaking is the thorn on your flesh, set a goal to speak up at least once in a meeting, rather than expecting to give a perfect speech immediately. And the plan here is to rewire your response to anxiety. You want to gain confidence and your social presence over time. At number 9, create safe social routines. The fear of the unknown, especially in social settings, can cause major anxiety. Let's just say you're the type of person who struggles in networking events or networking sessions. Try establishing a routine of starting every conversation with a simple, prepared question to break the ice and ease you in, and also make interactions feel more manageable. Just think of the weekly coffee chats, the check-ins. These predictable interactions actually help reduce anxiety over time. And safe social routines can actually create predictable structures, and this is also going to help you feel more certain. It's going to help you feel more in control, less overwhelmed. And then regular, low pressure social interactions is actually going to train your brain to feel more at ease. And this is what you and I need to reduce the intensity of social anxiety. Maybe you're the type of person who dreads meetings. Nothing about them feels natural to you. But also, this is an aspect that you cannot avoid if you're in a leadership role. So in this case, you need to build social confidence through repetition. And it could be a case of hosting recurring team lunch or coffee chats. Consistency is going to help reinforce positive experiences for you, so that these interactions can feel a bit natural and even more natural over time. At number 10, seek feedback. In all honesty, how often would you say that you'd ask for feedback knowing that you might not like what comes from the other side? Social anxiety can leave you on over-analyzing situations, assuming the worst, and feedback is going to help take the guesswork out of social interactions. You could be very, very self-conscious about how you come across in meetings. Am I too quiet? Am I too loud? This is a good time to engage a colleague that you trust for honest feedback. Just hearing out loud what's working well can actually calm your fears and even give you a balanced perspective, because you're getting real constructive insights instead of relying on assumptions clouded with anxiety and guesswork. And another reality is that anxiety can make you feel stuck because you are focusing mostly on vague fears of failure rather than very clear, specific areas that need improvement. So constructive feedback is going to help you identify and refine these areas. And I'm still going to use the public speaking example. If you're nervous about speaking in public, you can get feedback on your tone, on your pacing, your cadence, on your language command, or even engagement, so that you can focus on concrete skills instead of general fear. So if social anxiety feels overwhelming, just remember, professional help is always an option. Therapy, books, and even certain apps like Headspace can offer valuable tools. This journey of managing anxiety is probably unique for everyone. So tell yourself, progress is always worth celebrating. So if I may ask you, what strategies would you say work for you in managing anxiety, and any that you have learned from this video? Please share with me in the comments. It might just help somebody else. And if you got value from this video, please share it with a friend. Subscribe if you haven't already, and press the notification bell for more leadership content just like this one. Also, check out this video on how to take criticism without losing emotional balance, just to shed more light on how to receive feedback in professional settings. See you on the next one. Bye.